The United States has begun pulling non-essential personnel from its embassy in Baghdad and authorizing voluntary departures at other key locations across the Middle East. The move, confirmed by U.S. and Iraqi officials, follows what Washington describes as heightened regional tensions. Oil markets reacted immediately, so did the Pentagon, and so did General Michael Kurilla, the head of U.S. Central Command, who postponed his scheduled testimony before Congress just as this story broke. It's not a full-scale evacuation, but it's a signal, and a significant one. According to Reuters, the State Department on Wednesday ordered the departure of non-emergency staff from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Separately, it authorized voluntary departure of military dependents and diplomatic staff from American outposts in Bahrain and Kuwait. The department updated its worldwide travel advisory the same day, citing regional instability and growing concerns over safety. The State Department says the intent is to evacuate through commercial means where possible, but the U.S. military is standing by in case alternate options are needed. In Bahrain, where the bulk of U.S. military families in the region are based, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth signed off on voluntary departures for dependents. But while some posts are preparing to scale down, others remain unchanged. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait said it had not altered its staffing levels and remains fully operational. And at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest American military base in the region, officials confirmed there has been no change in posture. So the question is, why now? This repositioning of personnel comes at a time of renewed strain between the United States and Iran. Negotiations over Iran's nuclear program appear to have stalled, and U.S. intelligence agencies believe that Israel may be preparing for a possible strike on Iran's nuclear infrastructure. That's not speculation. It's the underlying risk Washington is planning for. President Trump made his position clear this week when asked if tensions could be diffused. He said, "They can't have a nuclear weapon, very simple." That has been a consistent U.S. position under both Republican and Democratic administrations. But now, Trump has signaled growing pessimism. He told reporters he's losing confidence that Tehran will agree to limit uranium enrichment, which remains a key demand for any deal. And Iran has responded with its own warnings. On the same day the U.S. evacuation order was issued, Iran's defense minister Aziz Nasirzadeh stated that any military strike against Iran would be met with retaliation, specifically targeting U.S. bases in the region. Iran's permanent mission to the United Nations also issued a public statement on X, formerly Twitter. It said, "Iran is not seeking a nuclear weapon, and U.S. militarism only fuels instability." Iran maintains that its nuclear program is peaceful, a claim long disputed by Western intelligence services. At the same time, the head of U.S. Central Command, General Michael Kurilla, was scheduled to testify before lawmakers in Washington. That appearance was postponed, and officials confirmed it was due to the evolving situation in the Middle East. According to two senior U.S. officials, Kurilla has briefed the president and defense leadership on a wide range of options, all aimed at preventing a nuclear-armed Iran. None of this suggests that military action is imminent, but it does show that preparations are underway and that the United States is treating this threat seriously. Markets also moved quickly. Brent crude oil prices jumped over 4%, reaching $69.18 a barrel on concerns that instability in the region could disrupt global energy supplies. Britain's maritime agency issued a warning that same day, advising commercial vessels to proceed with caution while traveling through the Gulf of Oman, and the Strait of Hormuz, all critical waterways that border Iran. The British government said it is closely monitoring the situation and reviewing embassy operations in Iraq. Meanwhile, Iraq, caught in the middle, said it had not recorded any specific threat warranting evacuation. A government source told the state news agency that Baghdad was not aware of any intelligence that would justify the U.S. decision. Still, the reality on the ground is complex. Iraq is in a unique position, maintaining relationships with both the United States and Iran. The country currently hosts around 2,500 American troops. At the same time, many Iran-aligned militias are now formally linked to Iraqi security forces. These groups have repeatedly attacked U.S. personnel over the past year, especially since the war in Gaza began in October 2023. While those attacks have subsided in recent months, the potential for escalation remains. And it's not just about Iraq. Over the past year, Israel and Iran have exchanged direct fire twice, launching drones and missiles across Iraqi airspace. These were the first ever direct military confrontations between the two countries, and they marked a dangerous new phase in the regional conflict. Iranian-linked groups operating in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon remain active, and Israel has continued striking Iran-backed targets across the region. In that context, a limited U.S. evacuation isn't just precautionary, it's strategic. The next round of nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran is expected in the coming days. Tehran is preparing to submit a counterproposal after rejecting Washington's latest offer. But officials on both sides have signaled low expectations, and both militaries are clearly preparing for alternate outcomes. In recent months, the U.S. deployed additional air and naval assets to the region, including B-2 bombers and a second aircraft carrier. Those have since rotated out, but the pattern is clear: readiness, not retreat. The question now is whether diplomacy can still work, or whether the region is quietly sliding back toward confrontation. For now, embassies remain open, bases remain active, and no red lines have been crossed yet. But the movement of personnel, the shift in tone, and the coordination behind the scenes all point to a high-alert posture. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for fact-first reporting and stay informed. This is The Briefing.